Hello, Sam here. In this video, Scott is largely hauling ginormous 5G 15mm tri-phase cable, that's a mouthful, throughout the house. So the electricity comes into the house, into the panel next to the front door in the vestibule with the lovely stained glass window, and he is putting in 3 further panels, one up on the top floor where the water heater is, one on our floor where the main bedroom is in what will be the laundry room, and then the third one is out in the pool room next to the solar panels. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. It was Scott's probably least favourite job ever. He kept injuring himself. It was a lot of that cable is really heavy. I know that when we did this for the solar panels, we had to very quickly install 2 cables for the solar panel, and that took us 2 days. Obviously, we've got better at it throughout time and experience, but it was a mare. And in this video, Scott's largely doing it on his own. He did call on me to help with one of the cables, so you'll get to see my foot, I think it is, in that. But yeah, it's been a long, hard haul, but at the end of the day, it needed to be done, and it's what Scott needs in place so that he can install and replace all of the current electricity. As those of you will know, at Christmas, we had a bit of a nightmare in so much that I had no electricity, and yeah, it wasn't fun. Anyway, hope you enjoy watching the video.
So this is the worst part of this whole pulling the cables, basically going through all of these holes. They're off by just a little bit each, but that's not the real issue. When you go to pull through it, because this texture is a bit rubbery, not really, but it kind of sticks, binds a bit. The holes are quite a lot larger than this. I didn't want to make them any bigger. But the trick is, when we turn this corner here and go that direction, I've got to pull that wire up, and then when it hits this first hole and this line, it needs to be totally straight so that it will flow through nicely. So I really figured out a smart way to do it. I was using these things, the old water cover insulator things. They kind of helped a little bit, but not really. And then Sam was helping me with her foot. She would kind of hold it straight and push it down with her foot, and that would help me be able to get through. But as you go through each successive one, it gets harder to pull. So like I just did a day of it and basically got blisters all over my hands here and there, so you can kind of only do a day's worth. And it takes me probably 2 hours to get through here, as you'll see in a bit. But anyways, yeah, not too sure how else I would do it. But this is the hardest part of it for sure. It's a bit of a nightmare. And I've got this one and 3 more to go. All these gray ones are all temporary. They're just because we had all the electrical issues at Christmas and things melted in the walls and stuff like that. So they'll all be going away eventually. But yeah, this is to feed the laundry room, the top floor, the pool room, and then one for the car charger if we ever get a EV. So yeah, really big cables, depending on what size they are, but they will be future-proof for a good while, put it that way. Because I don't want to be doing this again, taking the floor up and all that sort of stuff. So each section will be able to have, a whole lot of stuff on it that we're never going to use, but you never know. Someone in the future may make this place into apartments or want to rent it out into individual floors or something. I don't know. But it'll be ready for wiring anyways. And be ready for a big kilowatt EV. This is 3-phase wire, which means it's got like 3 hot wires and then 1 neutral and then a ground in it. And it'll take up to about 100 amps with 3-phase, so it's good. It's good quality stuff. Anyways, let's get to pulling this through. You can hear me make a lot of noise, and hopefully I won't swear too much. Let's get to it. Well, after taking a little break, I took about a half an hour or so off. And because my hands were starting, I could feel blisters coming, so I thought I better stop. So all I have to do left to get this down across the floor here and then down into the main breaker board is get this end of the wire to reach the gray. And that's probably going to take me, I don't know, a good half hour. Because as you go along, the worse and worse it gets. And it's just crazy, so. Anyways, wish me luck. I've only got 2 more wires after this to do. I'm not doing them today. I'm going to do one. I tend to just do one a day and then do something else at this point. Because this stuff is super heavy. Okay, let's get to it. Well, it reaches. My hands are just like destroyed just from doing that. Anyways, continue on tomorrow morning. Maybe not pulling a wire, but there's lots of other stuff I can do. So see you tomorrow. Well, it should be long enough. Well, I've managed to get the wires through, at least this wire, through the holes in the hallway, through all the floor joists, and I managed to get it down and close enough to the entrance breaker board as I need to. Now what I have left to do is I have to put it through across here into this hole and then down to the what will be a breaker board inside the pool room. I have to do all of this wire. I'm doing it a bit crazy because I don't trust myself measuring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this all the way through and then pull it out the door and run it back again. I just want to make sure that to the exact centimeter or two that I measure that I don't waste any wire because it's expensive and I want to make sure I get a good long length to wherever we want to go for if we get a car charger in the garage. So a big bit of extra in case we decide we have to put it here, we put it here or whatever. So since we bought a certain amount, I might as well have it for there. Yeah, so it's basically been a day. I've had to take a day off from when I was doing inside, and all my fingers were getting blisters. Not big ones, but you ever feel it, how you can just tell they're going to come if you keep going? So I've got a weird blister here, and then I've got kind of all my tips have gone, even with these gloves on. This stuff is so heavy, and it's so difficult to pull through that it's just totally wrecking my fingers. So give it a day between. I've been doing other stuff, working on this and working on that. And yeah, so let's get to work. All right, let's get this up and through this hole. Well, I've got two more cables to run. One from the garage to the front of the house, and then one from basically first floor, which will be our laundry room, to the front of the house. So what I'm going to try to do is bring all this cable in, unraveled, and ravel it up in the kitchen, or what will be the kitchen. And yeah, see if that helps me pull any easier. I don't think it will, but it's worth a shot. Well, it's the next day. I had a little break. Arms are really sore today. Hands aren't too bad. But I'm basically just going to hook this up. I'm going to send this wire up to what will be the laundry room, up one flight right there. You can see where this gray wire goes. It's going to go in the same hole. And then eventually when I get things rewired properly, that gray wire will go away and I'll reuse it somewhere else. So let's get it up there. We're going to try to measure 1 point. Oh, I'm going to do probably about 2.5 meters. 2.5 meters. Because I don't know how, probably less. Let's go for 2 meters. So the maximum height you can have the breakers in the box is 1.8 height, which is about my height. So you can't have any fuse higher than that. So yeah, it's good. I'm going to hold it up there, measure down, grab it, cut it, and poke it through. Let's do that. I'm going to get a tape measure though. Let's see, 2 meters is... Let's do 1.9. Let's do 2. 2 is there. It's difficult to get up here. Can I keep that up? I'm not sure. Oops. Put that up here. So another 20 onto that, approximately. And there's sag on this. Eek. So plus the sag, if I just measure. Whoa. 2 meters was about where? This is a disaster, isn't it? English ladders are so crappy. So if I'm going there, I'm going to say that it was about there. This has been a disaster. Oof. That there. Let's do it this way. Open the door. Oh. Does everybody calm down? Oh, very sore. Let's try this again. Not so stupid. Oops. 2 meters. Have to plaster those walls anyways. What can I mark it with? What can I mark it with? Mark the wall with a pair of pliers, because that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Here's my 2 meter mark. So I've got a lot of slack in that. I won't need all that slack, so I'm going to go up, straighten this first bit. Actually, I won't. I think I'll just put my hand up it. stuff is so heavy. If I could put that there. The rest is above that. There we go. It doesn't work off the wall, which it probably will. Right, loads of space on that one. And we're quite up there, and there's a lot of space. If I do 2 meters on that, it should be good. And I'm hereby calling that 2 meters. Now, can I get that down from there without... Yoink! Got my finger on it. We're good. Poke this up. See if I can pull that up. Yeah, this. Well, good news. It's the next day. I'm still really sore, but I'm going to give it a go anyways, because this is the last wire. And I'd really like to get done this thing, at least this part of it. So what I'm going to do is take this one, feed it all the way up to the front of the house, into the main board, and then take this end and put it all the way out through the out the kitchen, where I'm putting the other ones, into the pool room, and then I'm going to drill a hole into the garage, and then I'm going to run the cable, just kind of hang it down somewhere, maybe make a coil. I'm interested to see how far it'll stretch, mostly, and then yeah, and then we'll be done. I'll be done this portion of it, and then I can start doing stuff like mounting the GTLs, which is like the wide trunking that goes up the wall. Big plastic thing you put a cover over and you run all the wires up and down it. And then the breaker boards. I've got to do 2 more of those in the house. I've got to do one in the laundry room, which is over there, and then one on the top floor, which is kind of above this area. And then I'm going to do one without the GTL in the pool room, because it's not really a main board. It's just going to have kind of pool stuff and maybe a couple heat pumps on it or something like that. But anyways, yeah, let's get pulling this wire, and hopefully I don't kill myself doing it, because it's really heavy and I'm tired. So anyways, let's get to it. Well, it's the next morning. Basically, I was pulling cables down. I would kind of pull them down the stairs, and these things are so heavy. I think I pulled something a little bit in my back. So I thought, no, I'll just stop. I've got lots of other things I can do, so I stopped, and let's try again today, see if we can get these through here and out to the garage. Let's get to it.
case any of you are wondering why we call Steve the cat Steve the cat, it's because we have a friend who lives in the village also called Steve, and quite often we talk about Steve doing something, talking about the cat, and people are like, what the heck are you on about? So now Steve is pretty much always known as Steve the cat.
Oh, well, there we go. That's the worst part of it. I've got everything pulled through this floor. I now just have to go to the kitchen, put it outside into the pool room, and then drill a hole into the garage, and we'll see how far we've got our cable. Oh, a lot of work. Anyway, so let's get to finish this, and I'm taking the rest of the day off. Well, good news. I've got the wire through from the pool room. It's easy, nice little easy thing to drill through. I'm going to run it up above, below these wires that are the old wires I'll get rid of eventually, and then run it above the door, above where this little tool thing is up here, and then along here, like this, which is great. I can look how far I can get over. And what I was originally thinking is I'd like it to go somewhere over here. The charger for the car. Well, we don't have a car, but future proofing and whatnot, that's a big strong cable. That'll take 100 amps of tri-phase, which is more than we're going to need, that's for sure. So we're all set for that. And if I ever wanted to have like a 3-phase router, tools, welder, that kind of thing, or machines. So I can put it in the box there eventually and take 3-phase, or do it on the other side. But this gets us a big, sturdy cable, and I mean it's monster. And I'll have the charger somewhere like over there. And we have enough by quite a bit actually, which is good because I was worried about it. Yeah, we've bought just enough so that it'll come down, across there, down, and we can put a thing there. Because the idea is you would come in with your car through the garage, kind of back up, park, and we're going to still get 2 or 3 more other, well, at least 2 other cars in there. If we ever want to have multiple cars parked in here. So yeah, it's great news. That means this is the end of all the pulling of the big cables. My fingers are destroyed, my back is destroyed. I don't know how to explain just how heavy, even this little loop here, like that's, I don't know how many pounds or kilos it is, but that is a lot of weight. Like it's a lot. And then the coating on it made it difficult to pull through things. So yeah, great news. It's a huge check off my list for what we wanted to do. So the next step, we're going to continue. We're going to start installing the breaker boxes, no breakers in them, but just basically laying all that out, the GTL they call it, and for at least 2 of them, and then I'm just going to have a regular without a GTL in the pool room. Yeah, we're getting there. I mean, we've got to fix all this up, drill in the walls and clamp it and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm all done, super happy. It's been a long haul getting these through, literally. And we're going to basically, I'm going to just take the rest of the day off. I'm going to walk to the next, well, a couple villages over, good hour and a half walk in me. Sit down in the sun and have a beer because it's Friday and I'm tired. So anyways, see you shortly.